Chelsea have sacked manager Frank Lampard and have also lined up Thomas Tuchel to be their new manager for Chelsea. But we have to know, was this the right move for Chelsea to sack Lampard so quickly, or are they making a big mistake? Whew. Let's eat.
What time is it? Game time. Woo.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Edwin, aka King Jaloff, and we are back. Guys, Chelsea, we're here at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea have just sacked their manager, Frank Lampard. Sacked in the morning. You're getting sacked there. I'm not gonna sing, that's too much. But anyways, guys, this will be a soccer video. Sorry I said the S word for all my European followers, but sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So, Lamps as Blues the Empire. Make sure you guys go follow him on Instagram. Lamps is now gone. Okay, he is now finito. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, but it's kind of sad in a way, because I just want to go back to earlier on, I think last year, where I was having this conversation with one of my friends, Balo, and he said that Lampard was a better manager than Arteta. Now, obviously, there's a little more context as to why he got fired and you know, the expectations that was set upon him and both managers. But ultimately, I won because Arteta is still in the job and Lampard is still, he's gone. So it doesn't really make sense to me how I could lose that argument. It doesn't make sense at all. But anyways, on a serious note, guys, Lampard is gone. So what does this mean for Chelsea? Well, they spent 300 million this past summer. 300 million on players for Frank Lampard to use in order to get top four. And in some aspects, if I'm being honest, I would have thought Chelsea to contend for the title this season. And they were at some point, but they weren't really title contenders. They were pretenders more than contenders, you know, because we see right now that they're spending 300 million in the summer to warrant being ninth in the league. Wow, that's terrible. That's terrible. And I think Arsenal are right behind them in 10th. So, and we haven't won a game. I'm not even gonna get into that. But anyways, so spend all that money, ninth in the league. That's terrible. At times, Frank Lampard's tactics have been criticized. And, you know, that's pretty much every manager. Like, if you lose, you're always going to call for the head of the manager. If you win, then great job. Look out for the manager to get all the praise in the world because of his tactics and how he won the game. But at least for this season going on so far, it's been mostly calling for the head of Frank Lampard because his tactics have been kind of rather shocking, if you ask me. So, you look at some of the moves he's made in the past in terms of playing these players out of position. And I granted that was mostly due to these players, some of the players in the squad being injured, but ultimately it has not worked out. Now, I kind of am surprised that this happened though, because listen, there's no ifs and buts about it. Like, Frank Lampard to me had one of the best squads in the Premier League, maybe so much in European football, but let's just stick to the Premier League right now. He's had one of the best squads so far, arguably right behind City and Liverpool when they're healthy, right? And yet he wasn't able to deliver. So that's the biggest issue right there. He wasn't able to deliver after coming in 4th place last year, right? So he came in 4th place the season before, got Champions League, got to an FA Cup final, got bounced out by Arsenal. Had to throw that in there, you know, but you know, it wasn't a bad start for a guy that's only been in the job for, at least prior to that, I believe a couple months, and in totality 18 months before getting the sack. So now you look at Frank Lampard and you see, well, he's gotten us Champions League, he's gotten us 4th place. We're doing terribly right now, but he also does have a date with Atletico Madrid for hopefully trying to push on in that quest for a Champions League title, which I don't think it'll happen, but I mean, he's at least there, right? He's there. And rather than stick with their manager, because to be honest, I'm going to get into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in a bit, but rather than stick with their manager, who by the way is only 6-7 points off of top 4, the season is still in contention for top 4, even though it may not look like it right now. But Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham, the Spurs, like Everton, these guys are all in contention for top 4. It's a tight race, but it's still there for the taking. You never know what could happen because Liverpool are actually they're not looking too well in terms of solidifying themselves at least in the top 4 finish. So that's one thing. So you look at that and I see, well, I've seen other managers who were this close to getting sacked. Arteta won, right? There was a period of time where Arsenal looked terrible, shambolic at times. We credit him so much for changing the structure, for changing around the defense and making us a better team defensively. And that worked for a period until we didn't score goals. We couldn't score goals, no creativity. There was a lot of big decisions that he made that was pretty much, in the eyes of many Arsenal fans, wrong. And, you know, those people calling for his heads to be sacked. Didn't happen because he found a way to turn that around. So that's one thing. And then you go over to Manchester United and you see, well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't win a game at Old Trafford for 3-4 games straight until, you know, he found this type of magic. And then he always happens where this guy is this close to getting sacked, and then all of a sudden he turns it around with this magnificent performance, magnificent tactics that he uses throughout the game, and he saves his career essentially. So this guy, Solskjaer, has turned it from being at the bottom of the league to now the top of the table. That's crazy. So, you know, I'm saying this all to say that you would think that Chelsea would give a little bit more faith, like Ibrahimovic, would give a little bit more faith in Frank Lampard to turn this around, because evidently it's happened with other managers this season. So you really can't say that I haven't seen too much, it's not looking too well, because in actuality it's happened before, with 2 managers so far. And you know, I will get it, like I will keep on going back to this point where Frank Lampard has so much more expectations, in my opinion, than what these other 2 teams, United and Arsenal, had. Because if you spend that much money, you better at least, I'm talking about at least, at the very minimum, be contending for the title. Not even top 4, be contending for the title. And there was plenty of times where there was drop points in situations, losses where that shouldn't have happened this season. And so now looking at it, it's like, okay, well, Frank Lampard kind of deserved that. But if you ask me, in my opinion, I would say give him to the end of the season. Only because he's a first-time manager, kind of. Not really, but, you know, he did manage somewhere else, I believe. I forget what it was called, but what team it was called. But anyways, he's only been in the job for 18 months. So where's the faith? Where's the reassurance that, you know, we believe in you, as Arsenal has given Arteta, as United has given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, the time and the patience to turn it around? Where is that same factor for Chelsea? It's not there. It's not there because they don't believe in him. And you can see how Chelsea operates, because now, as soon as Frank Lampard was sacked, as soon as he was sacked, Thomas Tuchel is now being lined up. He's being eased in so easily now because they planned this for so long. Like, they knew it was going to happen. They've been planning the sacking of Frank Lampard, and then they've been also contacting, I guess, on the side, Thomas Tuchel to say, okay, we want you to become our next manager. We want a manager with experience, a guy that is proven somewhat, and that can do the job, because Frank Lampard isn't doing the job right. And now that's what happened. Now, it's kind of a sneaky way to go about it, in my opinion, especially the fact that as soon as Frank Lampard comes in, this is so funny, man. As soon as Lampard comes in and he gets sacked, then they announce Thomas Tuchel, not even a day after, probably an hour later, or probably the same. It's pretty much simultaneously. As it's happening, he's coming in. So, like, that's crazy by me, man. The Chelsea owner or the president, whatever you want to call it, that's pretty crazy. He's ruthless, as some people may describe him as. But I get it, because listen, Chelsea in the past have had success by sacking managers. You know, and it dismisses the whole notion that you need consistency and continuity for a manager to succeed, because that's not true. Chelsea have been in top 4 more times than not in the past couple of seasons. And they've also had different managers at the helm. You know, they won a season. They won Europa League with Maurizio Sarri, I believe. And after that, he's pretty much not sacked, but I guess you could say sacked, but they depart ways. You know, and that's it. So Chelsea have no heart when it comes to these managers. But anyways, Thomas Tuchel is now the new manager. Frank Lampard is sacked. But let's move over to Thomas Tuchel and what he brings to Chelsea. Now, an experienced manager, last season made it to Champions League final, eventually losing out to Bayern Munich. I think that was pretty much what was expected to happen. Like, we all knew that he was going to go in there. I kind of picked PSG to get that far, but some people may say that his road to the Champions League final was due to the coronavirus and how it wasn't over 2 legs. Regardless of that, you got to give him credit because he still made it there. And you got to give him credit for still finding ways to win the league when he was a PSG manager. I get it, what people may say, it's Farmers League, I don't really care. He did it, he's accomplished, and he's done it in the past, right? He didn't win the Champions League final last season, but he's still an experienced manager. Now, what he brings to Chelsea is what I think many fans would enjoy somewhat. So, 4-3-3, that's his preferred formation. That's what he loves to run, and I do think that Chelsea has the players to run that formation when healthy. Now, he brings a type of attacking element to the side that maybe Frank Lampard lacked at times. Maybe he couldn't find ways to generate that consistent attacking for Chelsea, but with Tuchel coming in right now, he may be able to find that consistency, bridge that gap between them and not scoring goals one game and scoring like 3 or 4 goals the next game. You know, like consistent goal scoring. And there will be times where Chelsea just don't have a good day at all at the office, but you know, ultimately it'll work out for them offensively because they do have the players to do it. And another factor that he's bringing to Chelsea is the high pressing. And I believe this, and I probably said it before, I don't think that you can win in this league, the Premier League speaking, if you don't press. Now, I think that you could get away with some games with not pressing, but ultimately, if you want to have a longer period of success, you have to press. And what Tuchel does, he runs that 4-2-2-2, where he gets the top 4 forward players up top, overload one side, and then that's how he tries to win back the ball. So that high pressing nature is going to be implemented to Chelsea if it wasn't already there. In some parts it was there, some parts it was not. They probably pressed enough because it is the Premier League. You know, you have to find ways to at least press some point in the game. But with Thomas Tuchel, he might be able to implement that more so pretty much every game, more so minutes than in the past. So look out for him to implement the high press, and on top of that, bring a new attacking element to the side. Now, it's crucial right now for Chelsea because I don't agree with the fact of sacking Lampard only because they are still in the quest for top 4. And if things don't work out, then you sack them. But now they made the decision to sack Lampard. Tuchel's coming in, so he will be tasked of trying to get this team to top 4. It's doable. Now, I'm not going to say it's not. It's doable. It's possible. I don't think it'll happen, but I do think that Chelsea, and pretty much as every team gets a new manager, new players, they'll get a kick. Like, they'll get a little kick, a little energy inside the team where they'll probably play better. They'll probably win a couple more games, and then maybe they start settling into reality where it's like, okay, well, we had this one loss compared to our other victories, and now we have to get things in order and sort of keep that momentum going. But I do think that Chelsea will be one of the better sides in the Premier League in the next couple of weeks, only because they do have a new manager. So, players want to play for him. They will want to show exactly what they bring to the team and impress him in training, on the pitch, everything. So look out for Chelsea to do that. But anyways, guys, that's all that we have for this video. And let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. Was this the right move for Chelsea, sacking Frank Lampard in the middle of the season? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think it was, but hey, it is what it is. Anyways, guys, Chelsea, you guys are the winners for today, only because You were in a bad state, probably still are at the moment, you never know, but Thomas Tuchel will bring a different element to the side, and that's pretty much all you can hope for right now. Like, you can't really hope for anything else. You gotta hope for him to give you a little kick in energy and hunger for the squad, and on top of that, find ways to build that consistency. Once he does that, then I think Chelsea will be fine. But anyways, that's all that we have for this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the video and to the channel. And always remember, as I grow, we grow together. Stay tuned for the next video. Boop.
Thank you.